Versus? No, it's not. It's not. It's not versus. It's not. Promise you, it's not versus. I promise you. My bars are basura. I have no bars.
Yeah,
bars are trash. Got Jersey bars. Bars are trash. Anyway, welcome to another thrilling episode of Fandom Initiative. As always, you're welcome. Please go into the comment section. We would love to hear from you and interact with you. No, just joking. We're recorded again. I'm going to do that every time because I don't care. Just because of work sales and stuff like that. We're doing a pre-recorded show. We're not live, but we still wanted to come to you. I don't know why I'm doing all these ridiculous jutsu hand gestures I got going on. Don't know. But let's start with the introductions. As always, the man across from me. This is the Cinema CEO. He is the Cinema God. He is also one half of the Tag Team Champions along with Lady Mina. She is the Cinema Empresso. And they who also have a podcast called Mina and Mawa Politicking for the Culture, and Michael and Lady Mina also have a podcast called the AMC A-Listers. This is Michael Williams.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody?
This is the man. Myself, I am the hungriest man in the room. I am Antonio Pomares. I am the Hungry Bleak. Hashtag Nevermore. Hashtag the Dark Star. I just got done eating.
That he is.
Too. Mad hungry. You can catch me here, obviously, as well. I also have my own separate podcast called the Hungry Bleak Podcast, which I just did the season finale with Greg Anderson Elise. Probably said it wrong again. Tried to say his name 13 times, and each time got shot down wrong.
You finally got smoke with him, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got all that cinder. Got all that cinder together. You can also check me out on IG on Sundays around 6:30. I have the Lit Pick segment with the Zion Network. That's a really fun thing gig to do. I pop in and then I pop off. It's awesome.
Nice.
So, man, this past weekend was a lot. There was a lot popped up.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. And I had forgotten a couple of things actually that even came up that I'm just remembering now that I didn't even put on the goddamn run.
Isn't that how it always works out though, brother?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll throw this out there before we start excuse me, with our usual shenanigans and rigmarole and shenanigan stuff. Demon Hunter movie came out. Limited release anime, I believe it was subbed, and no, I think it was just subbed. I want to say, although you know, it may have been subbed, and it may have been what's the other word I'm thinking of? Holy shit! Wow, it's great. Subtitled and dubbed. Thank you.
Subbed and dubbed.
Yeah, but I think it like depend on where you were at. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it because I wasn't going to go to the movies. Because it probably wasn't going to be playing in my area anyway. I was probably going to have to end up going to New York if I wanted to see it. So that came out. But let's start with movie news since we're already up in here. We're going to hit. This is Michael's Super Bowl pennant race champion. Every championship. This is his WrestleMania. This is his like Starcade. Everything. The Oscars.
I'll be honest with you, brother. It wasn't much of those. It wasn't much of those events this year. Kinda.
I forgot it was even because I don't watch it the last few years just because of my interest and also because I'm sleeping most times because I have to be up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So when people started talking about the rewards, I was like, oh wait, what?
Yeah,
it's this weekend. That's a packed weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
So. What were the happenings, sir?
I mean, it was kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. Like, I mean, aesthetically, from the show point of view, I loved what they did with it. Like, it was very dialed back as it should be in times of COVID. You know what I mean?
Did they still have like the red carpet and such like that, or was it modified?
It was a little modified. Like certain segments of the show were done in different areas. I'll say that. And where the main gathering of everybody was at was kind of in like one of the I don't even know where they were, but it was kind of like for lack of a better term, it was like a small-ish like ballroom. So the show, I mean, if you know anything about the Oscars, old school Oscars were not as extravagant as they are now. Like when the first show first started, it was kind of like this small gathering of people in like a very small, basically hotel ballroom. You know what I mean? And that's what they kind of strived for this year, which I liked. I liked that it was very kind of small and intimate, and the beginning of the show, or the beginning presenter of the show was Regina King, and they kind of did a very I'll call it a very Ocean's 11 kind of opening for her. So it kind of like followed her along her walk to this location, and then the show kind of just started with her talking. You know what I mean? When she got to the stage. There were some very wonderful moments in the show, like, you know, Regina King talking about, you know, the state of the world in Black America during her speech, her opening monologue. There was an award that was awarded for, I want to say it was costume design, that was won by the people who designed costumes for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Two Black women and a Hispanic man who accepted that award, and the woman who gave the speech for that award was a descendant of an original Tuskegee Airman. So the speech that she gave was very poignant and timely, and, you know, I would be remiss if I don't talk about Daniel Kaluuya winning for Judas and the Black Messiah, and his speech, which was great, where he manages to embarrass his mom about 3/4 of the way through it, about he wouldn't be here unless, you know, his mom and his dad had sex, and, and all sorts of stuff. But that wasn't really the biggest highlight of the speech. The things that he was talking about, from, you know, being allowed to tell Chairman Hampton's story, and all sorts of things, were the meat of the speech, and it was really good. And listen, Daniel Kaluuya has been a good actor for a very long time, and well deserving of that award. Very well deserving of that award. I think the only problem that I had with that particular award was that, and I kind of know the reason why they did it that way, is they put him and Lakeith Stanfield up against each other in that category for Best Supporting Actor.
So that's what they were talking about, because I saw people were upset.
Yeah, I honestly think that what I think happened was, and this is something that kind of played out at the end of the show. I think that they were thinking that people wanted to clear out of Best Actor because they thought it would go to Chadwick. And unfortunately, it didn't go to Chadwick, but I'll get to that. I honestly thought that you easily could have put Kaluuya up for Best Actor and put Lakeith up for Best Supporting, and they probably both would have won. But yeah, I'll leave that alone. But Yeah, I mean, I think, and I agree. I agree. Like the big controversy, the huge controversy was that there was a point at the beginning of the show where one of the presenters, I think it was Laura Dern, had said that they weren't going to go by, typical Oscar norms for the show. So normally the final award is usually Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, the final award was Best Actor. And
so that's a moment that would have been made for doing Chadwick.
Yes.
Or Lakeith, who should have been nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the award went to Anthony Hopkins for a movie called The Father. Now, I don't want to get up here on the show and slander Anthony Hopkins because he's also one of my favorite actors, and there's no question his acting talent. So I'm not arguing his talent. I'm not arguing whether he was good in The Father or not, because I haven't seen The Father. So I can't.
I never even heard. I thought that he had retired.
No. He's still acting. I mean, The Father is about. The Father is about it's about. I mean, it's about a topical thing too, about Alzheimer's and things like that. And I'm not arguing that that's not something that people that's not a topic of a movie that people should see. I'm not arguing that it's about his talent. I'm not arguing any of that. I can't say anything because I haven't seen The Father, right? But I think the problem is that the Oscars kind of built this narrative in a way that almost made it seem like Chadwick was going to be the inevitable winner, right? And then for you to kind of move the show around its components of how it normally goes, and then to have that at the end where Chadwick doesn't win, the award goes to Anthony Hopkins, and Anthony Hopkins is not even there, and there's no one there to even give him an award, because also the way that they kind of had it set up was like there were people who were watching the show in remote locations, but were also kind of given awards if they won in these remote locations, right?
Right.
So not only is Anthony Hopkins not there, he wins, and there's no continuity of someone even presenting him an award. Like, it just felt so
Oscars.
Yeah. Deflating. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and honestly, and I agree, because someone said the next morning that this is literally the thing that gets the Oscars off the hook for the whole Moonlight controversy. It almost makes that Moonlight thing that happened look tame in comparison to what happened this time around. But I mean, I think that that's the nature of a show that is basically meant to be subjective, right? Like, you don't really know how the voting broke down on anything. You don't really know. You don't know a whole lot of things, right? So it's kind of like people who are fans of Chadwick who feel like that performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is kind of the defining thing of not only his career, but of his life. Like, there's something about that performance. And listen, brother, you and I love Black Panther. We love the things that we've seen him in. But there is something about that performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom that is just like, it's almost like he's opening up his entire being and just leaving it out there for us to see.
Well, because it's a totally different role for him. We're used to seeing him as the quote unquote good guy and the guy trying to do the right thing. Where in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, it's not that he's a bad guy, but he ends up doing a horrible thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even him talking about his mother and how she was sexually assaulted by these white men, and they made him watch, and what his father went and did afterwards. So it's a totally different role, and it was him just really letting go and letting out, and he kept evolving as an actor. All this time, he's battling a terminal illness.
And there's that scene in particular where I feel like he's letting go of kind of not letting people not know what he was going through, and not having people worry about him, where he just kind of like puts it all out there. There's a scene where it almost seems like he knew that this was going to be the last time that people were going to see him in this character, and that, you know, he knew he was going to die, and he kind of put it all into this performance. And it just, I mean, again, when I watched it that time, it felt real and genuine to me. And that's why I felt like he was going to win, because it just felt like, wow, I'm like, this guy has been so good for so long. I mean, here he is kind of leaving this last piece of art. You know what I mean? For all of us to kind of see, and it's even more charged with reality, knowing the things that have happened to him, right? Like, it's disappointing. It's disappointing that he didn't take home, you know, this statue from his peers. But I think the redeeming thing about this year's show, and I don't want to leave out a very important win in category for Chloe Zhao, who became the first Asian female to win Best Director and also Best Picture for a movie called Nomadland, which is on Hulu.
I want to say, yeah,
Hulu. And with Chloe Zhao winning, I mean, again, side note, Marvel's timing can't be any better than it already is. Since she's directing Eternals, now you can simply say, we've got an Academy Award-winning director directing our newest entry into the MCU. It's crazy. Like, their timing is just, it's impeccable right now. And I know I can imagine a lot of studios are looking at this and they're just tired. They're tired of Disney. They're tired of Disney. They're tired of Marvel. They're tired of, you know, just them kind of understanding what works and how to cultivate good directors and relationships and all sorts of stuff. So that's a side note. But getting back to what I wanted to say is that I think what this year's Oscar show has kind of showed is, and I've always kind of thought about this in my head and I've never really said it, is like, there's this legacy that I think one of my favorite actors, Denzel Washington, kind of has created, right? Being as good as he's been in his career. Like, this is the guy that can carry a bad movie by himself. You know what I mean? That people will go see a movie that Denzel's in, even if the movie around him is absolute shite. People will go see it because he's in it. You know what I mean? I think his legacy has not gone to just one actor. I think it's been spread out amongst a number of African American, people of color actors. I mean, you see it in Daniel Kaluuya. You see it in Lakeith Stanfield. You see it in his son, John David. You see it in another fine actor, Sterling K. Brown, who does an amazing job on a show called This Is Us on TV. You see it in Brian Tyree Henry for another example. Like you see it. You see like all of these guys that kind of like I would have to think have idolized Denzel. Chadwick. You see it. You see it. It's like his legacy was to spread the inspiration to more black actors this time around. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see more projects with people like Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield and all these actors that I've named. It's just, I don't know. I don't think that I never thought that it would be that way. I think we sometimes get caught up in this whole situation of hopefully there will be a next Denzel, and we think that it will be just that one. It'll be one guy. It's not necessarily one guy. It could be more than one guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have on the Oscars. I mean, it was an okay show. It wasn't a great show. There was disappointing moments, but there were also very poignant and uplifting moments. So, yeah.
All I can think is of that gif where Chadwick turns around to Michael B. Jordan and gives him that look when someone else gets calls up on stage. That was my response when I heard about that shit. Again, and this is not defaming Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. This is not defaming him. This is talking about the system and what they do and how they do the votes and whatever and all that. Whatever. Yeah. So you know what? The only part of the Oscars I've watched the last 5 years or so has been the in memoriam part. That's the only part that I watch. So I'll have to watch that on YouTube because again, I didn't watch the Oscars.
And that was also not without controversy. There were a couple of people that they left out of that shouldn't have been left out of it.
Of course.
Most notably was what's her name? Naya Rivera from Glee. Was not in the in memoriam. I have no idea why.
But do they do it? Is it more movie actors that they do, or movie and TV, or TV?
It's usually any actor, as long as you are.
Is it anybody that's part of the SAG?
As long as you're in SAG, yeah. So I don't know if maybe she wasn't in SAG at the time, or I don't know. I can't imagine that she wasn't. You know what I mean? Unless it was just an honest omission, but I don't know how it could be an honest omission.
How is it when she saved her child?
That was a major story. You know what I mean?
You know what, man? Honestly, fuck the Oscars. I'm done. Don't get shit. I'm just hearing stuff like that. I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. Whatever. I just fuck the Oscars. Yeah. I understand the prestige that comes with it, and when you put that, like even Oscar nominated is enough to get your foot in more doors. But they're just whatever. That's why I'm really not into any award shows. I just don't, because they're not even the People's, just because the people are stupid too. That's why I just don't even pay attention to the People's Awards, because I'm like, they voted for that. This is why I don't like that. This is why I just don't. Yeah, they're all wild. All right, so streaming TV news or goings on, let's say. We got the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Is it season finale, series finale? We really don't know yet. I mean, in essence, it's still up in the air, which is kind of good. I actually like not knowing necessarily. But word is coming out of Captain America 4. Is it 4? Winter Soldiers. Damn, wow. Jesus. Because at the end of this episode, which was the finale, let's just say finale. Let's not say anything. We actually got the graphic of Captain America and Winter Soldier, which was actually pretty cool. I hope they, I'm interested in that, see where that goes. This episode was a lot to unpack in this episode. A lot. Some good, some bad. I've heard both. I enjoyed it. There was 6 episodes. I enjoyed the whole ride. Some of the episodes did seem out of place, almost like disjointed from everything, but then they came back, so what have you. A lot going on. They positives. Isaiah Bradley. Carl Lumley just kills it no matter what. You can give this man just a pizza menu to read, and he'll just body it. He will. Amazing stuff. I loved seeing him and that scene in the museum. And the episode is even called Truth. I want to say it's called, or is it the episode before that that's called Truth? No. The one before that, excuse me, is called Truth, which links to the Truth comic, which is where we're introduced to Isaiah Bradley, the character. I mean, the costume that they did for Sam Wilson's Captain America is, I think, probably the truest to comic book.
Yes,
I think I've ever seen.
I agree.
I've never seen something that, but in the reality, it's not as. It seems like it's not as functional. Like everybody was saying, "Oh, it's not as sleek." They want to say more sleeker. I don't give a shit. I'm not being paid to argue with people or debate them, so I just sat there and like, yeah, whatever. I do understand what they're saying, though. The white seems off-putting in real life. I don't know why. It seems like it's
too much.
Yeah, it seems like it's too much in real life. Like in the comics, it's beautiful, but I think it's because of the artist. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. Still don't need Bucky Barnes flirting with Sarah. Still don't need that shit. I don't need that, man. I don't need it. Stay away from my sister, bro. Stay away from my sister. I like what they had to say as far as the message. It was a little heavy-handed, but it's a heavy-handed topic.
Yeah, you sound like
with his speech.
Sound like what Amina said. That's exactly what you said at the end.
Yeah, it was a little old, but I understood why they put it in there. Because he's now supposed to be that guy that gives those speeches. Because Super Soldier Serum accentuates who you are, and it already accentuated who Steve was. So when he gave those speeches, everybody was like, wow, he's good at that. I think that was one of his powers. I think that was added to it. Almost like a charm factor, but just those speeches were just elevated. But it just, all in all, I liked it. Gotta get Sam some goddamn combat training. Can't keep getting his ass whooped, man. You wearing Stars and Stripes, baby. You gotta. I mean, not that I'm a big Stars and Stripes guy. Aside from the shirt, I wore the shirt for the show. But he's got to stop getting his ass beat like that. I realized this is also the thing. Again, he had to work 3 times harder than everyone else because everyone else that he was fighting is a super person, except for Batroc. I don't think Batroc has any.
No.
Aside from him being George St. Pierre, powers enough.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it's just he needs more training. He needs to do what Bruce did: go around the world, train, just do whatever you got to do. Because I know that he was more of a pilot, and he was more of like shouldn't say a pilot, excuse me, more of a what was it they called his unit? Like
paratrooper?
Yeah, more like a paratrooper, but like with the wings and flying and such like that. But we got to get some combat training. He's got to go to Wakanda. He's got to go Shang-Chi. Who else can teach him to fight? Don't go to Iron Fist. Don't go to Iron Fist. Unless you're going to get a new Iron Fist, but don't go to Iron Fist. I'm trying to think of who else like he can go to fight. Oh, Taskmaster. You know, depending on where that goes with the movie. But all in all, I enjoyed it. It said a lot. It had a lot. There were moments that were very deep. Power Broker being revealed. I was kind of I was just glad to see Sharon Carter. It didn't matter if she was going to be Power Broker or not, but everybody was, oh, she was Power Broker. I couldn't give a shit. I don't. Y'all got to stop with that. I was right shit. Nobody cares. Nobody's paying you to be right. Just sitting here. You're getting a few extra likes. That's it. Shut up. But all in all, I liked it. I would like to see Captain America Winter Soldier movie and see what happens with that. Everybody was expecting Steve to come back. I was like, nah. Chris Evans is too busy getting numbers out here in these underground parking lots. He's good. But I enjoyed it. Felt a little rushed, unfortunately, because of 6 episodes. That last one, but I understand why.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I definitely liked it. I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't good and it wasn't enjoyable. It was. I think we'll never know. We'll never really know if this is what they originally intended as far as the story goes. Part of me thinks it wasn't. Part of me thinks they had to go back and rewrite a lot of it. Because if that original story was about a virus, they knew that there was no way that people would sit through 6 episodes talking about a virus when we've been through a virus the last year and stuff.
Exactly. And it's something that we've seen 1,000 times. Like, we have to stop them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So there were parts of it that felt kind of rushed and kind of disjointed, but I don't know that it was so disjointed that it wasn't watchable and it wasn't enjoyable. Like, it clearly was, right? I'm interested in seeing what they come up with for Captain America 4. Now that this has now been announced, like, where do we go? Where do we go with Sam and Bucky here? You know what I mean? And is there a villain that is big enough for the both of them to take on themselves?
Hydra Cap? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't. But you know what? I don't want to see Chris Evans come back yet.
Okay.
I don't want him taking attention away, which is not a slight to Chris Evans. I just don't want him taking attention away from what we're building with these series and these quote unquote new Avengers that are emerging, that are coming out. So I don't want that yet.
Yeah.
And if we do get Steve back in, I want it to be old Steve. I want it to be like how it is in the comics when he's old as hell. And then somehow, he's old. I wonder if he still has all that strength, though, even though he's old as shit. Because he's aged. Well, he was frozen. So, that's a total hypothetical situation. But I don't want him coming back just yet and taking away from everyone. I want them to build this next stage, this next saga after Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
But at some point I would like to see him back. Just to, I don't know, just do something, whatever. Hand the hammer to Thor. Just anything like that. Just something like that. But yeah, I don't want him to take away from what they're building and the different faces and shades of color that we're seeing right now, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I was necessarily surprised by the turn that they took with Sharon. I felt like they needed to do something like that because I think, or probably if that's where they're going with it, they need as many of those things to kind of happen in these shows in order for them to do a certain show that's planned down the road. You know what I mean? And for people who think I'm being cryptic, I'm talking about the Secret Invasion show that they basically have already announced at this point. Like, you have to have these little questionable things that kind of happen in order to let that show get off the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a good show.
It was
absolutely a good show.
I'll end up going back and rewatching this because I know there are little things that I probably missed because it was layered, but layered in kind of an obvious way. But there was still a lot of stuff that, like, maybe a week after I was like, oh wait, this and this. So I will go back and rewatch what's name too. WandaVision as well.
Yeah,
because they were both well done, both completely different stories because it's completely different characters and such like that. It's just a different thing, but I did enjoy it. It was the one I was more excited about, just because I like Winter Soldier, and I wanted to see what they were going to do with Sam and how Sam was going to come out. And once they announced U.S. Agent, I was like, okay, so that's going to be like the conflict there, and where are they going to go with that? I was interested in seeing that. And I want to see more of Sam's family. I want to see more of that life because I didn't know he had a sister. I'm gonna be honest with you, I had no idea. And again, I don't know if it's something that they just did for the movies or if it's like that in the comics. Because if you look at Hawkeye, they gave this man a whole family, and they left Bobby on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So that was something that completely, because even Steve was like, You got a whole family over there? Uh-huh. And I know everybody in the theater was like, "They got a whole family over there? Wait, I thought it was." So that was interesting, So we'll see what they do with that. It actually made me want to go and watch that. What was it? Next Avenger? No, not Next Avengers. That Avengers anime that I keep making jokes about, but it actually made me like, I kind of want to see this. I kind of want to see what they do with these characters in here and these damn anime kids and their powers. So we enjoyed it. Go check it out. It's only 6 episodes, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think the last 2 are the only ones that are like an hour.
Yeah.
I think the other ones are just short, which is just shorter than an hour. Even just shorter than an hour. On Netflix, we have Shadow and Bone. This is from the book series. I had no idea about the book series. Didn't read it. Watched the first 2 episodes. I'm in.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. You know what? It made me want to go back and rewatch Motherland, Fort Salem, which I absolutely was in love with. The series is only 8 episodes. It's a world where there's magic, almost like a steampunk kind of a world too. There's magic, a lot of treachery and stuff like that. And there's the country, and there are 2 warring sections. And in between it, there's this thing called the Veil, I want to say it's called, which is darkness. But in the darkness, there are these monsters that come down, and they're like little dragons that come down, swoop up, and get you. But there are people who can control wind. There's water. There's fire. But then there's something that no one has seen, but there are legends of that are called sun summoners. If you go into the dark, they can bring about all this light, like the sun, basically, and they can just kill everything that's there. But then there's one that's on the opposite side of it. I think it's called a darkling, which they have shadows, and they can actually use the shadows like weapons. And I forgot the guy's name. I think he played Prince Caspian. He was Jigsaw. Yeah, thank you. The dude is in there. He must have a Netflix deal as well. Just like my man Anthony Mackie does. When I start seeing people more than once, I'm like, I see you, baby. I see you. I see you. And yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I'm on the 2nd episode. Like I said, it's 8 episodes. I think it's already been greenlit for a 2nd season, maybe. I think I saw that on there.
Yeah, I think so. I saw that too. Yeah.
And I can definitely see why. It has a lot of undertones about class, race, war and such like that too. Definitely is worth a watch. It has even just the costuming and such like that is beautiful. Oh my god, the wardrobe, phenomenal. So I know catering got to be on, because you don't have good wardrobe and such like that, and have garbage catering. You can't.
The filet mignon.
Yes. Well, my scene's not for a couple of hours. We're gonna do a reshoot. I guess I can partake in a piece of the filet of the mignon.
Yeah.
So yeah, check this out. It's definitely fun. It actually made me want to go and read the books.
Yeah.
I probably won't. I'm going to be honest with you. I got so much goddamn
shit. Yeah, exactly.
But I actually was in Barnes & Noble today, and I almost did pick up the first book. But yeah, it definitely is beautiful. Special effects are really nice too. So I'm on board for this one.
Okay.
So yeah. Also on Netflix was Stowaway. Okay, this is basically the premise of it. 3 astronauts going into space on a 2-year mission to Mars.
Okay.
So if you're going into space, you have, you're getting your shuttle and everything like that. You have enough supplies for that amount of people, oxygen, food, water, everything. There happens to be a stowaway on the ship. So what do you do? That's kind of the dilemma. What do they do when there's a 4th person there? This is Toni Collette, Daniel Day Kim, Anna Kendrick, and I want to say Shamir Anderson.
Okay.
It just brought up the dilemma, and I wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
Yeah.
It's, I want to say, just less than 2 hours.
Okay.
Maybe just 2 hours. I didn't know what it was going to be. I had no idea. I didn't. I thought it was going to be more like a sci-fi horror kind of a thing, or a serial killer. I don't know, whatever the fuck I was thinking. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I can see why some people thought it was meh, But to me, it was good because it brought up the dilemma, and it made me think, what would I do in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
And it had nothing to do with being a scientist or an astronaut or mathematician or doctor, what have you, because they each have their different roles. Tony Collette is the doctor, Tony Collette is the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Kendrick is the doctor, and Daniel Day Kim is the scientist botanist guy.
Okay.
And they're going to do research on Mars with the algae and oxygen, such like that. It was just very inventive how they had to think of things, and it was just, but it was kind of like, again, it just brought up that dilemma. What would you do in that situation?
Yeah.
When you actually get into the movie, I don't want to give it away, but when you get into the movie, start thinking, I wouldn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it definitely was enjoyable, thought-provoking. I know I don't want to be an astronaut, especially after seeing it. Well, I'm 43 anyway. If I'm going to be an astronaut, why am I going into space?
Yeah.
Because we want to see how comics affect people in space.
Mm.
It's not what they're going to do research for. And then we have the decisive movie. Excuse me, I shouldn't say the decisive. The hell is that? Decisive. Who the hell wrote that line? I'm gonna fire them. We have the divisive movie of the weekend, I should say, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Dude, you know how many times I've heard that in my damn head?
Yeah.
I expected to see it too, and I saw New Line. I was like, oh man, they didn't do it. I was like, All I'm gonna say is, have you seen it?
I have. I watched it last night.
All I'm gonna say is, look, it's Mortal Goddamn Kombat. It's a video game movie. Number one, have you ever seen a really good video game movie?
Mm-mm.
Number two, if you're there for Shakespeare and Outworld, you're an idiot. I'm gonna be. God, I'm so tired of tiptoeing around. I'm so tired of it. I came for punches, kicks, fatalities, and your soul is mine. But I got a better line than that. He's sucking his soul. I didn't make that up. That's not even a joke. That's a line that's in the movie.
You mean you didn't want to see King Lear Shao Kahn?
No, I did not want to see Macbeth. I've seen Macbeth and read it about 5 times. My favorite Shakespeare for some reason. I have no idea why. But that's not what I was there for. It was an enjoyable movie. I watched it. I enjoyed it because it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need. The summertime, that's all you need is a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Was the acting good? Not necessarily. No.
Mm-hmm.
Were there logical choices made? Nope. They watched Kung Lao die.
Yeah.
They watched my man get his soul sucked out by Shao Kahn. And no, I'm not going to edit that statement. He sucked his soul dry. He sucked my man soulless. No, I'm not. Louis Tan was not the best. This was not the best role for him. This was not the best of his acting chops. It was not.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a new character. He's not even canon.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? Was it good? Acting wise and stuff like that? No. Fights were good. Fatalities were, oh my God, fatalities were beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was there for Sub-Zero and Scorpion. That was the meat. That first, was it 7 minutes or so, what have you?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
If you're looking for something Mortal Kombat that is better, I would recommend Scorpion's Revenge, which is on HBO Max now.
Okay.
That I watched that. What the holy sh! And it's animation, so you know it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And I stand by my word. I don't know if you want me to tell you.
I hear you.
Oh, no. You know what? Kano. Kano was great in this movie. Kano was great. I forgot the guy's name. But he's been in a couple of series that I've watched. Because he was on that Showtime show with Don Cheadle. God, I can't remember the name of it. Don Cheadle.
House of Lies?
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was in that.
Mm-hmm.
He was funny as Kano. Just Kung Lao and Liu Kang. Not the look. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Go for the fights. Stay for Kano's humor. That's all I got, man.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I was pleasantly surprised by this film. It's not. You're not going in there expecting Shakespeare level acting. You're not.
Herefore thou is thine.
Exactly.
Die for that, brother.
Exactly. You are there for hopefully the director to be able to get the spirit of a game that has been around what feels like forever. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And in some ways, he succeeded in that. You know, I was a fan of the original that came out in, what is that, 95?
Yeah. God damn, 95.
Yeah, and
damn.
Honestly, I thought of that set of Mortal Kombat movies that was made back then, that first one was the best one. And even though it was kind of like some of the choices that you picked for certain roles in that movie weren't that great,
but they worked. It felt right.
Yeah, and this time around, I felt like everything that they picked was kind of right, and I think that's because you didn't really try to find, or you went away from this model of getting like huge stars to kind of make this movie work, right? Like, I think what's weird about it is that the thing that gets this movie made is the huge stars doing a YouTube show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is crazy to me now when I think about it, because that YouTube Mortal Kombat series was what, 2 seasons, right? I think it was 2 seasons worth.
Yeah, I want to say 2 seasons.
Yeah, really was the reason why this movie wound up getting made, because people watched the hell out of that YouTube show.
Yeah, they watch so much of it that it's actually on Blu-ray and DVD. That's how you know something is getting watched a lot, when they put it on, especially from YouTube.
Yeah, and I thought it captured the spirit of the game beautifully. Like the fatalities are amazing in this movie. Like it's almost like it's almost like you think that there's no way that they would be able to visually get those fatalities right and almost exact on film, right? Because it would almost feel like it's so CGI'd to death and cartoonish that it would be absolutely silly watching it on film, but somehow they got it right, where it doesn't even feel like it's cartoonish at all. It's so,
it makes sense, like,
because brutal watching it. Yeah, it's like, wow, like, you know what I mean?
Because of where it's at. Because in that, say, like if you saw like Kung Lao's fatality, if you saw that in another movie, you would go, but here, because of the world that we've created, and because of the fact that we have so much trust in it, because Mortal Kombat's been out since, what was I, a sophomore in high school? So that was a real long time ago. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of built up faith. So when you saw it, you didn't question it. You didn't question the fact that this man's hat cuts in half. When you say it out loud, it's ridiculous. But when you saw it, you're like, oh my, because you want to see how are they going to do this? And it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
And they did capture the essence of the game. Because if you play the original game, you don't really care about the story. Let's be honest. You just want to see if you can pull off this fatality.
Yeah.
You want to see if you can pull off that and they threw the little nuggets in there. Get over here.
Yeah.
They threw in, what else did they throw in it? Because they threw in a few of them. They
flawless victory.
Yeah, flawless victory. Fatality. They threw that, and they threw it in nice little ways. They even threw in a nice little Easter egg at the end where Cole goes and says, well, I'm going to go get more fighters. And he goes, where are you going? He goes, Hollywood. We already know. If you're a fan of the games, you already have in mind some guy doing a split and punching someone in the groin. You already have the idea. He walks by a poster and you see a poster that says Johnny Cage. I want there to be more movies because I want them to improve on what they've done.
Yeah.
I want them to have that chance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think they have a real good base with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it almost feels like it's a better base than it was the first time, which is crazy. Like, I don't know what it is. I almost feel like, and I saw people complain on Facebook thinking that they thought that the 95 version was better. I like the 95 version because it dared to try and do that at a time when easily studios could have been like, no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the sentimental value of the 1995 version. I think this version, to me, it kind of has a solid base to kind of expand on. Like, listen, the story, again, is never going to be... You're not going to get Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame level story. That's not going to happen in this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You, like you said, like, and to your point, brother, you're there to see fatalities and fighting. That's what you're there for. And I think in some ways, the story isn't great, but there is enough story there to kind of fill in the gaps between the fights and keep you interested. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's... I'd love to see what they do with the second one. The second one has to be better than Annihilation.
Yeah,
it has to be better.
It could, if it's worse, just burn the studio down. If it's worse than that, just burn the studio down.
It absolutely has to be better.
Shout out to them for getting an Asian god, or I should say an Asian actor to play an Asian god.
Yes.
Sorry, Christopher Lambert, who plays everything but a Frenchman.
Yes, exactly.
This dude plays everything. We want you to play someone French.
No,
I
want to play an Italian, the Sicilian.
I'm gonna play an immortal Scotsman.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want you to cast Sean Connery, who's Irish, correct?
Is he Irish?
I want to say
no. I think he's Scottish. Is he?
Scottish? Okay, then I want you to cast Sean Connery as an Egyptian.
Yes, exactly.
Who's married to a Japanese woman.
Exactly.
Juan Filolobo Sanchez Ramirez. Thank you.
Exactly.
And he was an Egyptian Spaniard. Wait, what was he? When you actually say the stuff about Highlander out loud, you're like, what? How did they? That movie? How did Queen even become a part of that? Jesus.
And then shout out to Hiroki Sanada, who's in Mortal Kombat, who's been in a lot of really good movies in his career.
Dude, he brings a presence.
Yeah,
he just has. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Got that vibe to him, which I love.
I agree with you. Yeah, like when you see him come out on screen, it's like, it just got real right now. It really did. Like, I loved him in a Tom Cruise movie called The Last Samurai. He's really good in that movie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he was the one that got done up by Barton in Endgame with bodies in the streets.
He was also in Logan. No, not Logan. Wolverine.
Oh, the Wolverine.
Yeah, the Wolverine. Scar. Because every movie was called Wolverine for some goddamn reason. He just has this presence, and even like when he started speaking in the beginning, I almost didn't even look at the subtitles because my eyes are drawn directly towards him.
Yes,
I didn't even want to look at the subtitles because he has that presence. He just has this cool kind of gruff exterior, and he just has this magnetism to him, and it's cool as hell.
Yeah,
for him to play Scorpion and Joe Talsim. His name was who I love. Warrior. If you have not seen Warrior, watch Warrior. He's awesome in it. He's also in. There's a Netflix movie with him and Aiko. I'm trying to remember the name of that Netflix movie. But my man is always. I love when he's on screen. I'm like, bet I know I'm going to get some heartfelt, kind of sad acting. And I don't mean sad as far as quality. I mean sad as far as like he seems to be sad in his roles. Except this one. This is like the most fierce I've seen, like fierce character. But he just has this vibe to him, which I just dig. So
yeah.
I think it's called Headshot, I want to say.
Okay.
On Netflix. No, not Headshot. But there's a movie that he did with Iko Uwe. I hope I'm saying his name properly. And the two of them, if you know them, you know they fight. I mean, jeez, their fight scenes are ridiculous. Damn it, man. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's what, an hour and 50 minutes?
Yeah.
I think. Look, go watch that instead of watching New Mutants. That's all I don't know.
I would agree with you there, brother.
Go make a real long cup of coffee besides watching New Mutants.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd still.
Yeah. Fly the beans in from Colombia. Slow roast them.
For real. You know what? You know what? While the beans are flying in, don't even use your electricity. Get like a stationary bike and just charge it up and just start doing like a hamster wheel type of thing. For real, you're way better off. On more positive news, Invincible episode 7 came out. I didn't realize that next week's episode. Well, yeah, this week's episode is going to be the season finale.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. But there's so much. Oh, I've already mentioned how much I love this comic. It's like my top, tied with Noble as far as my favorite superhero comics. Did you see this episode?
Yes, I did.
Every episode, just the way they translate it from the comic is so well done, and there's enough changes. Yes, that's all I gotta say. Yes, I don't know what else y'all need to hear. Yes.
Yes.
If I'm paying for Amazon and watching this, you know it's good because I don't like giving my money to anybody. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
It's so well done. The last couple episodes, because we didn't talk about it last week because we had New Mutants and the Shang-Chi trailer, but this series is on point. So many things. I loved seeing people who didn't read the comic when they find out what's happening with Robot and how he's working with everyone is connected in some way, shape, or form. And there's so many little details going on behind this big fight that you're not seeing it until it's reversed. And the fight is a smaller part of the scene and you're watching these little things. Yes, watch it. Yes, I don't.
Yeah.
After you're done watching this, go watch that.
Yeah, exactly.
Money. But those are my thoughts. My thoughts are yes. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. Again, I feel like, and I think I described it this way a couple of shows ago. I feel like almost like you were getting over in some way. Like this show has no business being this good. and it really is that good. You know what I mean?
And that voice acting is just
yeah.
I watched I forgot where it was I don't know if it was on YouTube or Amazon where there was like a little clip and I was watching it and it was of Sandra Oh, Steve Yeun and J.K. Simmons, and they were doing, I think it's in the first episode, the scene where Omni-Man comes home and they're all talking. It's like before dinner and everything like that. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching them do, and I'm like, I could actually watch them just read it. And I would be so happy and so cool with it. Because Sandra Oh, you know what? That's a cast I never thought I wanted to say and never thought about it. But give me a movie with Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons, and Steve Yeun.
Yeah.
Give me that. Now, Amazon, make that movie happen. Their chemistry, to have great chemistry, even though your voice acting is, I think, incredible. And their chemistry is so good.
Yeah.
God.
Sandra Oh is, I mean, I don't even know if I can call her criminally underrated at this point because she's been in like Hollywood movies that were big. Like she was in a movie called, I don't know if you've seen that movie, Sideways.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, she was in Sideways. She was great in Sideways.
I think that may have been like the second or third thing I saw her in, because I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. But I knew her from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I am Sandra Oh in a show on HBO called Arliss Old.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's
right. I knew from then when she was on Arliss that she had super talent.
She just has this,
yeah.
And I know I say this as a joke when I talk about somebody else, but she has this incredible range. Yes. And it seems like she's not even trying.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple of episodes of Grey's Anatomy. I didn't watch that show religiously. Amina watched it initially, and then she got tired of it because it just was like Grey. It was just like Meredith Grey, and it's
complaining.
It's just so ridiculous. Like that show is absolutely absurd at this point. Like they gave her whatchamacallit this season, and that was kind of their excuse to bring back this guy briefly. They gave her COVID on Grey's this year, and then they brought back Patrick Dempsey,
McDreamy,
who was basically kind of tending to her in the what do you want to call it, the netherworld, or the in between while she's in a coma. It's a mess. That show's an absolute mess, and I'm kind of glad that Sandra Oh decided to leave that show, because her talent is much bigger than that show. Clearly, as we've seen on Killing Eve.
Yeah, her
and Jodie Comer are just a revelation on that show. The way that they kind of play off of each other, it's crazy.
I honestly think that she's the type of person where acting, she can have that chemistry with anyone.
Yeah.
Which makes her an even greater actress.
Yeah.
Because if you're able to go on set, give an amazing performance, and bring it out more in other people, and that chemistry is there, and to do it in voice acting, which I don't know very much about voice acting, but it's just so much and so good and I was like, give me a movie with these three in it. J.K. Simmons is obviously a treasure.
Yeah,
Steve Yeun is getting better and better and better.
Yeah,
he's not Glenn from The Walking Dead anymore.
No,
stop looking at him like that. It's
not
done.
At all.
And I'm glad he's not getting caught in that bubble, similar to like Pattinson, who everybody think, oh, well, Twilight was like 150 years ago, man. Like, stop.
Yeah, if you get again, I'll recommend this to you now, brother, because I already sent you the text earlier about watching Sound of Metal on Amazon.
Amazon,
you get a chance to watch that. If you ever get a chance to see Minari, A24 special, brother, with Stephen Yeun.
I don't think it's on Hulu yet, though.
No, not yet.
It's not on.
Not yet. When it's on a streaming service, I'll let you know. You need to watch that too.
It'll probably be on Amazon because it's A24, honestly.
Because that right there will show you that he is so much more than
him
being Glenn on Walking Dead. Completely.
Yeah, because that was how many years ago that he was on there? 5?
Yeah, about 5, yeah.
Something like that. He's grown as a person, as an actor. Like, he's a different person. You know what I mean? And I love the fact of seeing someone break out from that and become bigger and better and just the dude is just there. He's just there. So please go watch Amazon's Invincible, and then after that, I believe if you are a digital comics reader, there's still a sale on Amazon, the series on Comixology. I believe it's half off. You can either go with the trades, you can go with the singles, or you can go with the compendiums, or whatever. Either way, read it because it's definitely worth it. It's just that damn. Reading it is even fun because honestly, I would be on the train from New York to Jersey. For the train ride is maybe about an hour, 20 minutes, maybe hour 30 minutes, depending on the day. I would read through 2 trades on the train. Kirkman's writing is such where you just fly through it and you retain everything, but you're like, wait, did I just read all through that? And you will. You honestly will. It's just awesome. Gonna have to go back. And it's only 8 episodes, which is great too. Again, Short seasons.
Yes.
CW. I can't remember last time I saw something on CW. Honestly, I can't remember last time I watched CW.
Yeah, brother. I think I'm just gonna let those seasons play out and then try and catch up on them later on. I can't. I can't do it anymore. Like,
well, you know what? Superman and Lois is that what it's called? Superman and Lois.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's actually on HBO Max, which is great. But again, I don't know what anything is.
But even that is temporary. That's only until like May 17th, I think.
That it's on there.
Yeah.
Oh well, then they'll probably go to Netflix.
No, because there's no more Netflix deal.
Oh, done.
That's over. Now it goes straight to HBO Max when the season's over.
Oh, I didn't, because I haven't even gone back to seeing if I wait. So this stuff is going to come off of Netflix then?
I guess at some point, yeah, I would imagine so.
Wow, first Friends, now CW. Holy shit! Wow, how's Netflix going to fucking comprehend all this? Anyway,
exactly.
All right, so for us it's Tuesday, but for all of you it is Saturday. So that means that you got to enjoy New Comic Book Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually excited because there's a new Robin series that came out, but I'm going to go through the other series. And this is a couple that were from last week as well, but that really hit me. There's one from Boom Studios that's called The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. Here's the premise. There's a prophecy of a child. Think of the pantheon of gods in a corporate building.
Okay.
There's like a vice president. They each have like their own offices. They each have their own divisions, everything like that. Like the thing of it like that. And there's a prophecy that comes down. No, wait. Death is called into the head god's office. Agni, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is death. I mean, death. Blue, beautiful woman, 6 arms, death. Like Shiva death.
Okay.
Called to the office and says, well, we have a problem. There's a prophecy. The prophecy says that there's going to be a child that is going to be born, and this child is going to bring about immortality. She's like, okay. So he's like, well, if there's immortality, then there's no more need for death. She's like, so what does that mean? He fires her. He fires her as death.
That's great.
Just so happens that at the same time, there is a young woman having a conversation with a gentleman at a college graduation party, or they're about to graduate. He is pontificating about something rather, blah, 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 blah. And she's sitting on the edge of the building, like smoking a cigarette, and she decides to jump. So she becomes the body for death. Her name is Layla Starr. And that's basically the premise. And now Layla, Death, is looking for this child. Then you get an 8-year jump after she's killed again, being hit by a bus, I think it is, and the god of life brings her back, or god of creation, excuse me. So it's basically her journey of trying to find this child. She has a chance to kill the child. She doesn't. But this is her chance to find the child, get rid of immortality, and then be rehired as Death. I loved this comic. The minute I saw Death, like the personification of things interests me. Death, life, that always interested me. So when I saw he fired Death, I was like, well, now you just got me interested. What the hell? How do you fire Death? Because that's never like brought up in stories and such like that, really. So I really enjoyed that. That's from Boom Studios. Go read that. The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. Next up is DC Comics. They have Robin #1. It's coming out. This is Damian Wayne. This is basically there's a tournament called the Tournament of Lazarus, I think it's called. And this is through their new line, like the Infinite Frontier comics. This is like after Future State. So it's Damian, and he decides to enter this tournament to show that he's the greatest fighter and everything like that. Normally, I don't go in for this, whatever, but it's a tournament, and it's Damian, and they're going to be introducing new characters. And I was like, I want to see what the hell this little assassin Spawn is going to do. I'll like to show you the cover. I have it on my tablet. This is it.
Yes.
I even love his new costume. I always love his costumes because it has the cape and the hood, because he still keeps that League of Shadows feel to it. I always love that. So I'm definitely in for this. I want to read this and see what is going on. just the fact that it's a tournament, fighter, and stuff like that. And the art is beautiful. Who's doing the art? That's the thing with DC. They put the credits at the end of comics now, which is weird. Oh, they're also coming up with a Festival of Heroes, which I did not know about. This is a celebration of Asian heroes in DC. So they're going to have like the Asian Superman, Katana, Cassie Steele, which is kind of cool. That is something interesting to me. It's going to be like 100 pages. From Image, we have Shadecraft #2, Two Moons #3, and Bitterroot #12. All series I love. Shadecraft is great. Living Shadows, Two Moons, indigenous mysticism and supernatural mythology, and Bitterroot is Bitterroot. I mean,
yeah,
awesome. Vault Comics, you have Witchblood #1. Actually, no. Excuse me. #2 comes out this week. #1 came out already. A witch being hunted by vampires in the desert, but not how you think. It's very brightly colored, very beautiful. I love that. Aftershock Comics had Phantom on the Scan #1. How to describe this? Okay, we all know the movie Scanners. One of my favorite Cronenberg movies, and body horror gets to me. It's just something gets to me. It's very visceral. So let's think of that, but let's say the last 5 Scanners. Something is going on, so they meet. They don't know each other, and they're reticent to say that they have powers. So they meet, and something is killing us. Something is killing us. We've all had the same dreams, what have you. Then all of a sudden, one of their heads explode, and this creature comes out of the head, and the guy goes, "This is what we have to fight. This is what's happening. This is what's going to happen to each and every one of us if we don't figure out what's going on." And that's the premise. So figuring out why, and I don't know if it's based in the world of Scanners, but it was the first thing I thought of when I saw it because of the body horror and the word scan. I thought of Scanners. I thought of David Cronenberg. I think that's still on HBO Max too. I think it is. They should get like the other 97 Scanner movies too on there, because I watched the hell out of all, even though those other ones are horrible. But I think Scanners 2 or 3 was the first movie I got on pay-per-view.
Okay.
Like when the cable box was still attached and had that wood panel sticker on it, and it had the buttons that clicked.
Yeah.
I think it was that, or it was Nightmare on Elm Street 3D, the one with his daughter.
Oh,
Lisa Zane.
Dream Warriors?
No. Wait, no. This is the one where Rosie O'Donnell and her husband or ex-husband, I don't know what that was his name, Tom Arnold, were in the movie, and it was basically like the town of what was the name of their town?
Springwood.
Yeah, I almost said Haddon, but I was like, no. Haddon is Michael's neighborhood. That's not it. It was kind of empty because people had moved away and all the kids were dead because of Freddie. And his daughter, who is a psychiatrist, goes there and is trying to figure it out. I want to say it's Nightmare on Elm Street 3D, but there's another name. There's another name for it though.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it's like the almost last movie.
And not New Nightmare. It's the
no, which is a good
Final
movie as
Nightmare.
well. I think that's
because I think Final Nightmare was the one that came before this guy, before Wes Craven decided to do this movie within a movie, the one that I like that most people hate.
It's so damn meta. It's just so
yeah.
And the way it plays up on everything, it's just good. I don't know how you. Anyway, so the hell was I even saying? Holy shit. Huh? Anyway, pick up Phantom on the Scan. I have no idea what the hell I was saying. I'll be honest with you.
You were talking about watching Scanners 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Oh yeah, times. Yeah. I wish they would put that on HBO Max because they're Scanners. Then these other movies just fly off into these different directions. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What happened? But they're still enjoyable. They're more action horror, where the first one is more psychological. Thriller body horror because and you're getting Michael Ironside as the as our Revik.
That goes without saying.
And again, the famous gif of the guy just like shaking it, and he's like, he's all the face. Oh God, yeah, I might have to watch that this weekend totally. And I want to say, yeah, that's everything pretty much. I'll just go down the list because I totally forgot to even click on these. You can look real quick if you'd like. If you don't like, I completely understand. But I typed it all out, so I wish that you would look. Please look away. If you're listening on audio, don't bother. You're fine. Exactly. Don't worry about it. And in the end,
yes,
that's pretty much it. I have no final words. I'm going to be honest with you. I am, as the English would say, knackered. And if anyone who knows me knows I love like English slang and lingo. It's awesome. I love it. Between knackered, wanker, sod off, and bollocks, I think I'm pretty set for the day.
Yeah.
So, do you have any final words, brother? Anything on the horizon that you know that's coming up this week that you want to say?
This week? I don't know. Is there anything this week?
Because I know last weekend was big. Last weekend was the weekend that everybody was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah. Last weekend was big.
Yeah, I mean, besides obviously the season finale of Invincible, not really. Like, I think it's a good time for a break as far as the Disney Plus MCU universe, for sure. We gotta wait 7 weeks for the next show to drop, but I kind of feel like that's a good thing because there wasn't much of a break between WandaVision and Winter Soldier at all. Maybe a week.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like that was them trying to catch up on lost time in a way.
Yeah.
But it was enough.
Yeah. So
there is on Netflix there is the anime Yasuke.
Yes.
Or Yasuke. Yeah, that comes out Thursday. Actually, Thursday that comes out.
Okay, yeah, I want to check that out.
That's going to be a big one as well. Yeah. I don't know how long the season's going to be because I can't see it until it actually starts. Probably be hopefully 13 episodes. Don't know how long the episodes are going to be though. Probably half hour, if not maybe 40, 45 minutes possibly. That seems like a good amount of time for me.
Yeah.
And that's Lakeith Stanfield's going to be voicing that along with, excuse me. Let's see who else is in this cast. Excuse me, everyone. Takahiro Hira and Maya Tanida. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely that's one that we've been waiting for a while. Unfortunately, I believe there's supposed to be a live action and Chadwick was supposed to play the character. That's not going to happen, unfortunately, but we are getting this anime. I don't know if they're still going to go through with a live action movie. I don't know. But I'm just from the trailer alone, I'm looking forward to this, honestly. I am.
Yeah. And then there's some other things that I kind of want to catch up on that I didn't get to watch. Usually, because I usually try and watch most of the movies that were nominated for Oscars or for their performances. I'm really interested in seeing Promising Young Woman, which I know is a movie that you posted a while ago.
Yeah,
on the Instagram.
Talked about it here too, because it just the idea of it, I was like, so it's like almost like a grown up Hard Candy. Yes. Where the girl from Hard Candy is grown up. That it's not the receipt, but it's the same premise, but it's more in this age. Yes. What's the sexual predator? You know, where at that point it was more like older man, the little girl, and trying to lure her back and groom her. Where this one, it's she goes out and she fakes being drunk, and then she sees, well, will this guy try and take advantage of me? And when they do, shit hits the fan. Like a dark comedy, vigilante horror. in a way.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of, because I think not only is it that it's another very underrated actress, Carey Mulligan, that makes me want to see that movie. They interviewed the director before the award show on Sunday, and she actually played one of the royal family on what's that show on Netflix?
The Crown.
The Crown. She played
really.
The director played Camilla Parker Bowles on The Crown. She actually was talking about it. Like, she played Camilla Parker Bowles on The Crown. She then went on to go and direct Promising Young Woman, and I think she was either pregnant during the shoot or pregnant before she did the shoot. I'm not sure. But she was talking about the whole thing.
Yo, she got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I respect that hustle. She out here doing it all.
Yeah. She got what? She said that they got Promising Young Woman directed in 23 days or something like that. Yeah. Now I'm really interested in seeing this movie because, again, Carey Mulligan has just been one of these actresses that she puts out these performances that people really don't talk about, but she's a really good actress. She's been a really good actress for a very long time. And
Emerald Fennell.
Yeah, Emerald Fennell. Yes.
I just had to look her up because I'm like, damn, wait, what?
Yeah, and yeah. It looked like a good movie from the trailers that I saw, the commercials that I saw. I just didn't have a chance to see it.
Yeah, she also has I think it might be on Netflix too. Call the Midwife.
Oh, okay.
On that as well. The Danish Girl, Vita and Virginia. A lot of period drama films, looks like. Awesome. Yeah. I like the idea of it. I was like, because Hard Candy was just so good. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's trying to remember because it's Patrick. Is that his name? Patrick. From
Patrick
The Conjuring
Wilson.
now.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson. Yeah.
Patrick Wilson and Elliot. What's Elliot's last name again? Damn.
Page.
Thank you. Today is not the day, folks. Today is not the day. Seriously, it is obviously not the day. Just that whole dynamic is just so, and you don't know. There's so many things that you don't know, and it leaves you guessing up until the end.
Yeah, I think Hard Candy was one of the first movies that really made me not only aware of Elliot Page for sure, but also made me aware of Patrick Wilson. I think I became a Patrick Wilson fan because of that movie. He plays these roles, and it's like, it doesn't matter what it is. And when he plays an absolute hard ass and dick and asshole, he's great at it.
Yeah, he has that kind of frat boy look that it makes sense. And I don't mean that as an insult. Like, it's just, some people, they just look like the role, so they get it. You know what I mean?
But then when he does a movie like The Conjuring, which to me, there are very few movies that really translate as a franchise, but somehow they figured out a way to kind of make the Conjuring just so entertaining. Like, it's just like these two people, it's like you're like, God, like these two people go through hell to kind of help people, but you're like, we need these two because we need these two to kind of defend us against the devil tonight. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and also the actress from that, Vera she has that same type of energy, like that same type of energy. Like, she plays that hard ass, like, annoying really well, but she plays these vulnerable. Like, they both have that same type of acting energy where they look like the role. You know, I don't know how to describe it, but they look like the role. But then because she's like one of those underrated. But she's in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't realize that was her daughter or her sister.
Younger sister.
I didn't really, but they look alike, but it never correlated to me. I'm looking at when I heard that, I was like, what? I was like,
yeah. And when I saw her name years ago, Tasia Famiga, I was like, that can't be her sister. I'm like, there's no way. She's like more than 20 years younger than she is. I'm like, what?
Sometimes you get a little older, you slip it in.
I guess, brother.
I mean, things happen. You know what I mean? Every so often, one guy slipped past the goal. You know what I'm saying? Goal. You know what I'm saying? Somebody.
I hear you.
But I mean, kind of carrying on in her sister's footsteps of the horror, and I mean, she's been a part of a franchise as well. This great series of the American Horror Story.
Yeah.
So they're both part of these like franchise things.
Yeah. Speaking of which, did you see the trailer for The Conjuring 3? Devil Made Me Do It. I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't. I still have to watch the. I've only seen the first two Conjuring movies. I haven't seen any of the other Conjuring verse, for lack of a better term, movies. I tried watching The Nun, and I just something about it. I just couldn't do it. And not scared. I don't know. Maybe it was just my mood, or sometimes I'm like, I can't do this shit today. I just yeah. But I want to see the other movies because I'm interested in them, and I like how they tease something in a movie and then there's like, because that honestly in Conjuring 2, that nun is, I mean, nuns are terrifying to begin with, but that nun is just very, the picture and then all of a sudden being there, and just it was very well done. And even because I watched sometime Looper or What Culture, and there were like times when the solution has been shown in the movie numerous times and was in the scene, and they showed the name Valak spelled out throughout the movie. Like there's a scene where there's like wooden blocks that's on the floor. There's a scene where there's like letters, like how they have kids' letters on a wall, and it was spelled out Valak like numerous times. I'm like, oh, I didn't. Wow. And it's just interesting to me. So they've done something great. It could have been a one-off too. But to create again a connected universe of movies, but it kind of makes sense with these stories because it just like to use them as the link between all these stories, and they don't have to be even in the movies, but it's still part of that universe, is actually very well done. So I do want to see it. Amityville is because that's what this story is based. This movie is going to be based on, is the Amityville Horror, which that was a wild one. If you've ever seen the movies, the original movies, not the new, but the original movies, it's just that first one was just it fucked me up for a while.
It's true. Very true.
I wasn't messing with flies, black walls bleeding. Didn't go one in the bathroom by yourself. You know, you gotta have somebody watch your back when you go to the bathroom. You know, when you had too much chili, or you know, you had that milk and you're supposed to drink it, you gotta have somebody watch that door. So I mean, seeing what they're gonna do, and this is also Juan, correct?
Yeah.
That's another part of it. I mean, James Wan, if you let him go, if you give him what you need and you let him go, he's going to give you something amazing. He is. Perfect example of not letting him go, Aquaman. But I feel like, except for the trench scene, but aside from everything else, you get it. There was a movie, or was this his partner Lee? Dead Silence. I think it was Dead Silence with the puppeteer. I watched it and I was like, okay, and it got to the end and I was like, shit, are you serious? I was like that, and I know it's kind of a trope now to do twist endings or reveals at the end, but if it's a good reveal, I don't care how shticky the trope is, it's going to be good. And that was a good one. It was really good the whole time. It just, I'm like, bring that. Donnie Wahlberg, look at you acting. Look at you being an actor.
Exactly.
Instead of being a bad boy of the New Kids on the Block.
Exactly.
Showing chops.
Exactly.
Dusty detective coat.
And I want to thank you, brother, for also recommending Gangs of London, because
that series is just
that show's
crazy.
just amazing. Like that show is just, oh my god, that show's great. That show's just great.
I mean, well, you thank me, but by proxy, thank
Robert Jeffrey. Right?
Robert Jeffrey.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do have a recommendation for you. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Again, better time spent than watching New Mutants. You even get an extra 10 minutes. So go make yourself like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Go make yourself a Beck.
Yeah, bro.
Sweetheart on Netflix.
Okay.
Horror movie. Minimalistic. Love it. It was, by proxy, was recommended to me. John Jennings, Micheline Hess, and Greg Anderson Elisi. I've said his name 2 different times, 2 different ways on the show. I know I got them both wrong.
Here comes the smoke. Here comes the smoke.
That's it. Haitian sensation coming to get me, brother. Minimalistic horror movie. A girl is on this island, shipwrecked, and every night a monster comes and attacks. It's very atmospheric. There is some gore. Very atmospheric, and the reveal of the monster is so. It just harkens back to like a time when you can get really good reveals of a monster, of that villain, of whatever. The reveal is so well done, and it's go, like I said, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, but it feels longer because they're giving you a lot, and it also let me see, the director I believe is black also, which you don't see a lot of black directors for horror. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, it's like a survival horror. J.D. Dillard. Okay. Also directed it too. Oh, okay. I did. I mean, excuse me, wrote it and directed. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. This was at like Sundance Festival too. Okay, all right. And it has a black female protagonist. Okay. Which again, you don't see a lot in horror movies. And it's from Blumhouse. Okay. Between Blumhouse, A24. That's like that's it. This is like the I can't see it very well, but you gotta get that. I see. You know, it just has that kind of it's a good survival horror. That's a bit better. Yeah. Okay. Survival horror is really cool, you know, when you get it done right. But it's even weirder if it's survival horror, but you're the only person on the island. Like there's it's just, it has this, but it's the atmosphere that it builds and everything like that. Definitely. So check that out. Like I said, hour and 20 minutes. Blumhouse. Definitely worth it. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was. And I heard about it and watched it. I said, that's and it gives you a lot in that hour and 20 minutes. It's just good, man. It's just good. Yeah. No reveal, none of that shit. That shit. It is straight. It is like a straight survival horror movie. Will she survive? Okay. Yeah. So go check that out. It's just awesome. Yeah. That's pretty much all I got, man. I got all these. Well, I only have 2 comics to read today. That came out today. I have a bunch more to read actually in reality. And I'm gonna finish watching. I'm gonna watch some more of Shadow and Bone. Okay. I'm really enjoying that series. And after that, I think I'm gonna end up watching Motherland again because I believe it's still on Hulu, which I loved. I love that series. So that's pretty much, I guess, for this show, for this week, for this lifetime, this eon. Yeah. Hopefully you'll have some nice weather this Saturday coming up. When all of you are watching this, I will be getting my first shot. Yes, sir. I'll be getting my super soldier serum. Let's see what attributes it accentuates. I'll be even hungrier than I already am. I'll be the hungriest Bleak by the end of my my dosage. So we'll see how that goes.
The hungry agent is what he'll become.
Be sitting there like, that wasn't even soul food. That wasn't even soul food. They weren't even super soldiers. Yeah. Kicked your ass though, man. That was a vibranium infused shea butter ass whooping. That's what that was.
Exactly.
Rent-a-cop. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Next week, excuse me. See where we're at as far as scheduling and stuff like that. But we'll still be coming at you in some way, shape, or form. We'll still be coming at you and giving you that good. Yeah. That good. You good, ma?
You good, Poppy? You good?
You good? I gotta find a sale on some Tim's so I can just do a show in Tim's one day. I just have my Tim's like, you're me, y'all versus, shout out to Red and Meth.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to those two. Aside from that, final words, brother.
Just get your shots.
Shot. No, that's not the.
Just get your shots. All these people talk about they're not getting their second shots now. Like enough,
Yeah, some people.
Some of us want to resume life like it was before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think that they're counting on herd immunity.
Yo, good luck with that.
I guess they say that we're close to it. I don't know. I still ain't around people, so I really don't care.
I'd rather just get the shot. You know what I mean? I'd rather for other people to just get the shot and just be that much more safer.
I want to go to New York Comic Con, you mofos. So get your goddamn shot. No, that's not. I mean, I do want to go, but that's not why I want to get your shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. COVID is still a thing, as my brother, as our brother would say. Yeah, just.
Just don't be assholes. Just continue to be good to each other, please.
And and to piggyback off of it, with the Apple part, you know what's coming from me, folks. Don't be a dick and don't be a cunt. That's pretty much it. I've been in my pajamas for about maybe 3-4 hours now.
Exactly. Comfy.
Got home, took a shower, got in my pajamas, and you know what I made? I made some scrambled just egg, and I had some Beyond sausage patties. I basically was making this my morning. That's basically what I did, folks.
There you go, brother.
That's what I do. I make time. I make my own time. You can't tell me what time it is.
What
time is it? Oh, never mind. So so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So just enjoy the day. I hope it's good weather this weekend. I don't know what it's going to be like. I hope it is. It's supposed to be getting warmer. As you can see in the forecast right over here, there's going to be a low pressure front. And
yeah.
Getting tired of doing that joke.
Twister.
So enjoy yourself. Do the best you can with what you got, because that's all you're going to get. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I don't think that's actually how I do the quote, but that's how it came out today. I'm going to be honest with you folks. That's pretty much it. So yeah, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Eat something tasty. Yep. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, review, all the good things that help us.
Yeah.
Because like I say, it's a small gesture to you, but it's a huge help to us.
Yes.
All right. If you want merch, we need more of you to watch so we can get you the merch, because you want a shirt that says Fandom Initiative on it. Damn it.
There you go. Watch us, listen to us.
Yes, watch and listen. You can catch us here on YouTube. We have about over 20 episodes, I want to say, here and on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I believe we're really hitting on iTunes. So hit us up on iTunes, Google as well. Everyone. All right.
Sure.
So you all have a good one. Enjoy that shower, and then lotion up your knees, fellas. The weather's getting nice. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. God damn it. Not trying to see no ashy ass knees, man. Just carry that shit around and eat something tasty. Hopefully the lotion that you're going to put on your knees. All right. Have a good one, folks.
All right.
We're out. Peace.
Peace out.